Hi, I'm Rich Zahowski with FlorStar Sales. Thank you for your time. We're going to spend a few minutes going over Tarkett SPC waterproof flooring, primarily the ProGen line. We started carrying Tarkett in July of 2021, and the ProGen line has really been a nice surprise for a variety of reasons. One, it's been very surprising how much of it is sold. Two, when you really study the line, how well Tarkett designed it. But the other surprise that I want to share with you is the merchandising system itself. When we place this in a retail store, it really looks unique, professional, and sleek versus any of the other merchandising systems that are out there. It has a unique height to it. It's very easy to use to slide the samples in and out of the display. So it houses the samples very nicely. Retail salespeople love using this system. A little bit about ProGen as a line. I'll share this card here with you. This is part of the merchandising system. Once again, this is waterproof SPC, extremely durable, easy to maintain, easy installation, quiet and comfortable. And this is key being here in the Midwest, 3 seasons room and cabin safe. There are no temperature limitations that Tarkett lists on this line. So you do have customers sometimes ask about that. It's a high performing line, and we have had customers put it into cabins where there has not been any issues. What I'll share with you is in regards to the structure of the product. It's 5 millimeters overall. It's a 20 mil, ProGen's a 20 mil wear surface, but that's kind of the terminology of, if you will, our industry. What's really important to the customer are the visuals. And what Tarkett did when I mentioned how they designed the line, they designed this line and they call it out to specifically emulate wood species. And some manufacturers will have names for their line like Exeter or Calais, maybe names of towns or names of rivers, those types of things, or they'll make up a different type of name. What Tarkett does is they specifically call it out versus what they're trying to create, whether it's a maple, whether it's a walnut, whether it's an oak, and whether it's a pine in almost all cases. There are 3 different sizes within the ProGen wood structure, wood line. There are 5x48s, which is really unique versus anything that's out in the marketplace. 7x48s, and then 7x60s. And then the bevels, some are cut and painted bevels. It depends on the design that Tarkett is trying to create. I'm going to start here with just a few examples of the visuals. This is rock maple. They should name it Rock Star because this is by far one of the best sellers. This is the best seller. And you say, well, what's different about this line? One, there's not a lot out there like this. We know a major competitor has something like this. They've had a little bit of trouble supplying it. But we have plenty of supply. This 5x48 visual in maple is really unique. It has a nice light to a little bit of darker color blend. Maple within wood right now isn't quite as strong, but this maple visual has done particularly well for us. And it's 5 inches wide, which is unique versus what is out there. So this is called rock maple. I'll just share one more visual within the maple line. This is stained maple. And you can see this has a nice, deep, rich color. This is what maple would look if you were to stain it to this dark brown color. People that are in the wood business that have seen installations of this stained maple cannot tell the difference whether this is SPC or real wood. And that's what Tarkett's trying to create with this line, unique visuals. Tarkett does have some oaks. I'll just give you an example here. This is a visual that's somewhat common out there with the knots and the mineral streaks. I've seen it visuals similar to this in other lines. What Tarkett did with this West Oak is they lightened it up just a little bit. They turned the dial to make it just a little bit lighter, so there's a noticeable visual difference versus some of the other lines that may have a similar type of appearance. Just share with you a few of the other visuals within Tarkett. They have Durham Pine. Years ago, pine was used a lot in homes. It was used in taverns, used in commercial buildings. One of the primary reasons is that was available. Pine is the wood that was available where they were constructing buildings at that time or homes at that time. This is called a Durham Pine. This is what you would find in a 100-year-old tavern or a 100-year-old restaurant on the floor. They've done a really nice job emulating the wear looks and how it would look after being utilized for that amount of time. This is popular for people I mentioned that have cabins, or if they have something out in the woods they're trying to create a different type of looking home. This has been particularly successful. We also have a nice deep rich look here within the pine as well. Typically you don't see pine stained this dark. Once again, it's a different play on what you can do with pine. And then I want to share another look with you that's really, really unique. Tarkett shared with me, this is one of their top 5 sellers. It's called Tan and Walnut. Walnut is typically a large tree, so the graining within the trees, you're going to have very large graining and large texture. And I mentioned the widths depend on the visual they're trying to create. Typically when people think of walnut, they think of a medium to a dark brown color. What Tarkett did is they actually lined it up and went in opposite directions. So you have kind of a light gray beige here for that customer can't decide if they want gray or beige. It is a unique look versus anything else that's out in the marketplace. And Tarkett has shared, once again, this is one of their top sellers within the ProGen line. Sticking with calling out visuals and calling out colors, Hickory is very popular in wood right now. This is an example of what we have. This is called Spice Bark Hickory. And so what we have here is the look of hickory. You can see the grain and the texture here. And so that gives you just a quick run through. I won't go through each and every visual, but it's a fun line to sell because once again, as you're talking with your customers, it says oak, it says maple. On almost every one of the wood samples, it helps you work with the customer with the visual they're trying to create. And it's a great color on it, great texture. I'll step back for a second and let you take a look at the overall visuals. In addition to the wood ProGens, there's two stackers here that carry the wood ProGens. Tarkett does have a waterproof SPC 5 mil tile in ProGen. And the tiles, this is just one example. This is what you'd find in a commercial building. It's called a Marble Nouveau, and it's just a nice overall rich marble look. There are several other looks within the tiles that have been particularly successful. Just to give you an idea, this is a unique look, a nice quartz look, kind of a smoother, almost a concrete look within the tiles. The tile display carries 9 visuals. So the Tarkett ProGen merchandising system has a tower here for 9 tile visuals, and then towers here for 2 towers for the wood visuals. We'd appreciate the opportunity to place it in your store if you don't already have ProGen. It's a great merchandising system. We do have a partner to ProGen at the opening 12 mil price point. It's called NewGen. It would come in a tower similar to this, and I'll just share with you, these are some of the colors that come in NewGen. These are kind of starting the opening price point, if you'll, bread and butter looks and visuals that are popular out in the marketplace. So from a merchandising system with Tarkett SPC, we could provide you with 4 different towers, 2 different price points, and some nice unique visuals versus what's out in the marketplace. Thank you.